So, morning students. Next, we will go for your routing and wavelength assignments. So, in your routing and wavelength assignments, you are going to implement it in your dense WDM networks there. So, in your dense WDM networks, we are going to establish a light path by reserving a particular wavelength on the physical links there. Between the source and the destination edge nodes, we are going to have a physical link, and over this physical link, we are going to assign a particular wavelength there, and a light path is going to be established over this particular on this physical link. So it is nothing but it is a two-stage process where we are going to search and select the process there. So here the search is nothing but it is going to be related to routing. So first we are going to select a suitable path, and then a wavelength is going to be assigned based on searching and selecting a suitable path. Then the overall process is going to be referred to as routing and wavelength assignment problem there. So here your implementation of routing and wavelength assignment problem, it can be a static one or it can be a dynamic one depending upon the traffic patterns which are going to be in the network. So first we will see about the static routing and wavelength assignment techniques. So here in this static routing wavelength assignments, we are going to have a semi-permanent connections which are going to remain active for a relatively longer time there. So in this case, the traffic patterns are going to be well known before in advance, and the variation in traffic pattern is not going to be frequent there. So here we want to optimize the way in which your network resources are going to be used and how the wavelengths are going to be assigned in each connection there. So here we are going to go for the disadvantage of your static routing and wavelength assignment problem is referred to as the static routing and wavelength assignment problem is going to be referred to as virtual topology design problem. So in your static routing and wavelength assignment, we are going to have the network resources are going to be wasted there. So we have to optimize it. So for that we are going to go for a dynamic routing wave assignment. Routing wavelength and assignment is going to deal with establishing a light path which is going to vary depending on the traffic patterns there. Suppose the traffic patterns are not going to be known, in that case the connection requests are going to be initiated in a random fashion there, and depending upon the network state at the time of the request. The resources may or may not be sufficient to establish a light path between the corresponding source and the destination edge node pair. So in that case we say that the network state will provide the information about the physical path and the wavelength that is going to be assigned for all the active light paths. The state is going to be involved randomly in time. So when a network is going to initiate a request, that network state is going to be evolved randomly in time as new light paths are going to be admitted and the existing light paths are going to be released. So whenever a request, at each time when a request is going to be made, an algorithm will be executed in a real time to determine whether it is feasible to accommodate that particular wavelength or accommodate that request and perform the routing and wavelength assignment or not. So the algorithm will decide the shortest path between the source and the destination node so that a connection can be established in the network there. So in case of availability, so suppose if there is going to be a path is not available on the same wavelength channel, then alternative routes are going to be seen so that the possibility of wavelength conversion can also be included in the optical networks there. So here we are going to take a 5 node network with fixed connections there, from where node 1 is going to requesting to establish a connection to your node 5. So we will see what are the ways in which your node 1 can establish a connection with your node 5 there. So here actually we don't have a direct connection between your node 1 and node 5 there. So here we can have the connection to be from node 1 through node 2 to node 5. That means I am going to have a single hop from 1 to 2, 2 to 5. And next is I can have it through your 2 hops. 2 hops is from node 1 to node 4, then to node 2, then to your node 5. That means I am using 2 intermediate nodes, so 2 hops. Or I can go for 2 hops via node 2, 1, 3. That is from node 1 to node 2 to node 3 to node 5. So here I am going to use 2 hops via node 2 and 3. Otherwise I can go for your node 1 to node 4 to node 2 2, 3, then 5. That means I am going to use 3 intermediate nodes, that is 3 hops are going to be used. So your algorithm will choose which is going to be the shortest path that is required to establish a connection between your node 1 and 5. So in this case we can see that a single hop via node 2 is going to be the shortest path. So these are nothing but the virtual paths that are going to be established between the nodes there. So here we don't have a direct physical connection, and these are the 4 possibilities to establish a link between the node 1 and your node 5. So here, whether the same wavelength is going to be available between the selected network nodes, the light path can be set up alternatively. Your wavelength conversion can be employed so that it can be converted to the required wavelength there. So here the second shortest path will be selected if I am going to go for a wavelength conversion process there. So when there are going to be no wavelength channels available, then no link can be set up between the desired nodes. So the unavailability of a network link between the two nodes will lead to blocking of the channel there. So here the probability of blocking increases if there are going to be more network nodes and the smaller number of wavelength channels and the fewer links that are going to be available between them. So the routing and wavelength assignment algorithm is going to play an important role there. So here it is going to determine the blocking probability of a network, and it is also going to provide the information availability of the path or the link between the source and the destination there. So here it is going to give an indication regarding the location and the number of wavelength converters that may be required in an optical network. So here to develop the suitable routing and wavelength and assignment algorithm, it is first important to assign the wavelengths within the network there, where it is going to offer the lowest or no blocking probability. So the wavelength assignment in routing and wavelength and assignment is going to depend on the network topology there. So the example of wavelength assignment for a ring network, where the ring is going to consist of 4 nodes A, B, C and D. So that means that for each node, between your node A and B, I need a light path to be established between the network nodes. So I can have 2 inner nodes and 2 outer half circles there. That means 4 possibilities for establishing the light paths. So here we require 4 individual wavelengths. That is 1 wavelength per half cycle may be required. But when I am going to use the concept called a wavelength reuse, in that case I need only 3 wavelengths are going to provide the similar connectivity there. So we will see how you are going to use these 3 wavelengths to provide the connectivity. Your routing and wavelength assignment is also going to determine the length of the path in terms of the number of hops it is required to reach the destination node. The pattern here is we are taking a ring topology where we are going to have 4 nodes A, B, C and D. This node, at node D, we are going to cut the ring and we are going to straighten the ring there. So when I am going to have straighten the ring, I am going to have one half is going to be the transmitter and the other half is going to be the receiver. So by using only 3 wavelengths, I can establish the connection there. So here we say that the patterns which are going to be referred to as the graph coloring can be used to establish the shortest path in relation to the network topologies there, either a ring topology or a mesh topology there. So here if I want to travel, I will be using 1 wavelength for the DT transmitter to the node A and another wavelength from the receiver to the node C. That is from node C to your node C to your receiver, and node A transmitter is from this node DX to your transmitter A. And here in this case your lambda 2 wavelength is going to be used between your nodes A, B and C. And if I am going to use, this is your 3rd wavelength there. And next 4th wavelength is nothing but between your DT transmitter A and node B. And again your 5th wavelength is between your nodes B, C and D receiver there. These are the wavelength assignments, and this is the light path arrangement for the 4 network nodes. Thank you.